Most people don't fail at getting rich because they're lazy. They fail because they pick the wrong path. And the strange part is, from the outside, all paths look identical. Everyone looks busy. Everyone looks like they're trying, working late, grinding daily, doing something, but behind the scenes, these are completely different games. And each game follows different rules. Some reward speed, some reward patience, some reward risk, some reward consistency. And if you don't understand the rules, you can play for years and still not win. Therefore, choosing the right path is more important than working harder, because effort only works when it's applied in the right direction. So instead of just showing you methods, I'm going to show you the types of people who actually get rich. Because once you understand the player, you understand the game. And once you understand the game, you stop copying others and start choosing correctly. The lucky kid. This is the easiest path. No grind, no strategy, just timing and luck. Some people are born into it. Others just happen to enter the right environment early. But what most people don't realize is, it's not just about money. It's about exposure, because when you grow up around opportunity, you understand it faster. You see how things work earlier. You learn what most people learn years later. Therefore, your decisions improve sooner. And over time, those small advantages stack, which is why their growth feels effortless. But here's the problem. This path is not controllable. You can't recreate it. You can't plan it. Therefore, waiting for luck is one of the worst strategies. The corporate climber. This is the most common path. You study, get a job, start climbing, promotion after promotion, increment after increment, stable income, structured growth, and in many ways, it works. You earn more than before. You improve your lifestyle. You gain experience. But there's a hidden limitation. Your growth is not fully yours. It depends on your role, your company, your manager, and most importantly, how fast the system moves. Therefore, even if you work harder, you cannot outgrow the system. And over time, this creates a ceiling, because your income grows, but not exponentially. And that's the difference. This path gives stability, but limits scale. The creator. This is the attention economy. You create content, share ideas, express opinions. At the beginning, nothing happens. No views, no audience. It feels like shouting into emptiness, and that's where most people quit. But the game here is not immediate reward. It's consistency. Because once something works, everything changes. One video performs, then another. And suddenly, people are watching. Therefore, attention becomes leverage. And leverage changes the rules completely. Because now you're not trading time for money. You're using attention to multiply your output, which is why creators today can build wealth faster than traditional paths. The patient investor. This is the quiet path. No noise, no hype, just consistency. You invest regularly, small amounts, over long periods. At first, nothing changes. The growth feels invisible, almost boring. But what's happening now is compounding. And compounding is slow in the beginning, but powerful later. Therefore, time becomes your advantage. And over years, small gains become meaningful. Meaningful gains become large, and large gains become wealth. This path doesn't feel exciting, but it's one of the most reliable. The dropshipper. This is the execution game. You test products, run ads, build systems. Most things fail. That's normal. Products don't sell, ads don't convert. It feels frustrating. But this path is not about being right immediately. It's about testing fast, because eventually something works. And when it works, everything changes. Therefore, you don't restart. You scale, you increase budget, increase reach, and suddenly results multiply. This is where speed meets opportunity. The crypto guy. This is the high-risk path. Fast money, fast losses. Everything moves quickly, which makes it attractive because it feels like a shortcut. But here's the reality. Most people don't understand what they're doing. Therefore, they rely on emotion. They follow hype. They chase trends. And when the market shifts, they lose. Because in this game, discipline matters more than speed. And without discipline, this path becomes dangerous. The entrepreneur. This is the hardest path. You build something from nothing, a product, a service, a system. At the beginning, there's no guarantee, no structure, just effort and uncertainty. But if it works, everything changes, because now you're not earning income, you're creating systems, and systems generate income repeatedly. Therefore, your growth becomes exponential. This is where real wealth is created. The meme coin gambler. This is pure speculation. No structure, no system, just bets. People enter early, hoping something explodes. And sometimes it does. Someone makes millions overnight. But that's not the full picture, because for every winner, there are thousands of losses. Therefore, this path depends on luck, not skill. And confusing the two is where people get stuck. The network insider. This is the proximity game. You don't just work harder, you get closer. Closer to people who are already ahead. Better rooms, better conversations, better opportunities. At first, it doesn't look like progress. You're just observing, listening, learning. It feels slow, almost invisible. But this is where things start to shift, because opportunities don't appear randomly. They appear through access. Therefore, the closer you are to the right environment, the faster your path changes. One introduction, one opportunity, one conversation, and suddenly you're moving in a completely different direction, not because you worked harder, but because you were closer. The athlete. This is the performance path. A basketball player, someone who turns skill into income. At the beginning, it doesn't look like success. It looks like practice. Shooting the same shot again and again, early mornings. Empty courts, no audience, no recognition, just repetition. And for a long time, nothing happens. No results, no validation. It feels like you're improving, but going nowhere. And that's where most people quit. Because this path doesn't reward effort immediately. But that's what makes it different, because it rewards precision, consistency, mastery. Therefore, the ones who stay longer get sharper, more controlled, more consistent, until one day something shifts. One game, one performance, one opportunity, and suddenly everything changes. People notice, opportunities open, money follows attention. But here's the truth. This path is not just talent, it's discipline. Because to reach that level, you repeat the same thing thousands of times before anyone is watching. And that's why it's rare. Not because it doesn't work, but because most people don't stay long enough to become exceptional. Now, here's the part most people don't realize. All of these paths work, every single one of them, but not for everyone. And that's where people get it wrong. They don't fail because the path is bad. They fail because the path doesn't match them, because every path demands something different. Speed, patience, risk, consistency. And if you choose one that doesn't match how you think, you won't stay long enough to see results. So the real question isn't, which path is the best? It's this. Which path can you stay on, even when it's slow, even when it's uncertain, even when it feels like nothing is happening? Because that's the one that works, not because it's perfect, but because you stayed. And in the end, that's what actually builds wealth, consistency, time, and staying in the right game long enough for it to finally show. That's it. If you're still watching this, you already know most people won't do anything with this. They'll just move on. So here's the difference. Don't just watch, apply. And if you want more like this, subscribe. Now go prove it. See you next time.